What's good, you guys? So today's video will be correlation video between Enneagram and Socionics. I was reserved about making this again. Because I'm like, what's the fucking point? But I keep getting messages. People often ask me, yo, can you post the correlation list? What are the current correlations? And I kept hearing it. To the point where my own friends were like, yo, your correlation list is old, updated. So here we are, we will update it. So big things are coming into the rusted typology community, and me and my friends are already working on creating a server, a community server, because everyone keeps asking about this Discord community server. So yes, it will happen, and we'll be introducing it very, very soon. It takes time to make it proper. It takes time to set it up, make sure that the rules are there, because there will be rules. It's gonna be a proper server. We'll try to be as consistent as we can with the rules. We want this place to be mature. We want this place to actually encourage discussions and for people to be able to enjoy themselves. Let's move on to the correlation list. SLE, we have the SP8. Obviously, there's the question of social 8, which I would put as a question mark, and I want to know your guys' opinion. When you read the social 8, it comes across as very relational subtype, right? Very focused on their personal bonds. Now, when you have this and this hip fixation, this focus on those bonds, on those relationships, using those relationships to get power. And also the nature of the social 8, which is very sensitive to any abuse of power within a system or hierarchy, and pretty much being very rebellious against any oppressive system. LSI. Now, with LSI, you have the social 6 and you have the social 6. This is not related to Socionics, but I want you guys' feedback here. What do you guys think about this issue of LVFE LSI? Because why would an LSI be third physics? A type that is so confident in aesthetics, in what looks good and what doesn't look good in the sensorical world, the bodies. They are completely and utterly fearless and confident. So why would they be insecure about that? Why would they be third physics? Then we have the EIE, which obviously it's completely unchanged and it is still simply social 2. Then we have the IEI, which here I want discussion. If we will consider anything, probably a social 5 and a 4. Again, not FSP4, but social 4. So then we have the SCE, social 8 and sexual 8. Same story. As far as I recall, I decapitated sexual 2 months ago. But for anyone who's still wondering, yes, Enneagram 2 cannot be a static type. It is a dynamic type. It is a rational type by dichotomies. And in the case of sexual 2, which is that's the type people throw the most, you have to understand that every 2 core is a hyper-social adapter and erasing your own needs and desires, right? To be accepted, not to be rejected. So, of course, this is pure FE-based shit. Even when you actually read the book itself, which I did months ago, it's all FE+, Sexual 2 is extremely FE+. Light-hearted, very vibrant, wants to spread this very intense positive emotionality. Even their histrionic displays are done for a reason. They are done to get a certain reaction of people. They are very conscious of their FE. They know exactly what their superpower is, and it is their smile, their vibrant smile, their presentation to people, their ability to impact people's emotional state, to make them feel a certain way. They are very, very skilled in having that emotional impact on people. This could never be an FE demo type. Remember, FE demonstrative doesn't do that. Now, with an LIE, this is juicy, okay? I would say there are multiple possibilities. Self-preservation 7, which I think everyone can agree upon. Social 3, which everyone can agree upon, hopefully. And social 7. I know, right? Like, we used to be like, oh, is it possible or is it not possible? And there were a few people I have typed myself as social 7 LIE. What are your guys' opinions on this? Do you think it's controversial? Do you think it doesn't make sense? Or do you think you agree with it? Maybe you yourself are a social 7 LIE. Then we have the ILI, which I would say self-preservation 5, social 5, and sexual 5, I'm unsure. I'll be honest with you guys. This, I haven't looked into it as much, so I am undecided personally. My personal opinion, I am not sure. Discuss this, keep the comment section nice and fiery. Then we have the ESI, which I would say self-preservation 4 and sexual 4. nothing really changed here. I don't know why people often say that the sexual 4 is the archetype of the ESI. To me, it kind of seemed a bit more self-preservation 4 as the archetype. That's what I think. Then we have the ILE, which is going to be the typical self-preservation 7 and also social 7. Then we have the ESE, which is going to be self-preservation 2, sexual 2, and sexual 3. Then we have the SEI, it's going to be sexual 9, and it's going to be social 9. Obviously, I have settled more so that to me, a rational type being a 9 core makes zero sense. Where do you exactly see SE demonstrative? It's FE base plus and SE demonstrative. Where do you see that? In reality, SEI social 9 can give impression of quite social person, but they're still much more introverted and timid. They are not taking space, they're not taking the energy that an ESC certainly does. Then we have the LII, which is only social 6. Now, of course, you don't get anything else. You don't really get the 5 course because the TI-based nature, the rationality of this type contradicts 5. This is not a TI-base, which is much more rigid, much more linear, primarily oriented towards logic. Then we have the SLI, which is, I would only say, honestly, self-preservation 9. I used to be like, well, it's self-preservation 5, but you know what, I'm going to commit to it and say, fuck it. Like, why should self-preservation 5 be SI based? If you have good argumentation at its core as to why self-preservation 5 should fit SI base, sure. Because I'm sure there's maybe some quotes you can nitpick and be like, you can see this is more like sensorical. But the core of the subtype, why does it fit? Then we have the LSC, social 1, sexual 1, self-preservation 1. And then you also have the self-preservation 3. Then we have the EII, which is self-preservation 6, self-preservation 4, and social 4. And then we have the IE, which is a bit of a confusing case because certainly a sexual 7 fits, but I'm thinking about self-preservation 7, and I might find some examples for this in fact. So I might say social 7, I think in fact, if anything, now that's more of a stretch. So this is the current list of the correlations. This list at the end of the day didn't really change much. Let's have a discussion. What is this? Because I know correlations always make people cry. Correlations are always controversial. So let's get people weeping. Let's get people questioning. Let's get people shocked. That's what we want, right? Let's spread this shit like wildfire. Anyway, I'm out. See you, and I'm bouncing.